where I prescribe entertainment one movie at a time. I am your host, Dr. Benjamin, PhD. What does the PhD stand for? Promoting heartfelt distractions. Are you just going to shake your head at me? Okay. At least I got a little bit of a laugh there.
Yeah. Oh, God, man. That's rough.
It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot smoother.
It could have gone a lot smoother, yes. And that right there you hear is my guest today. Joining me today is an old friend, my one friend that's 5 years younger than me and still older than me. Today I have Jake. Welcome, Jake.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So this was a movie that you suggested, Jake.
Yes.
A movie that I can't really identify when I saw it. But I know that Jen quotes it sometimes. And it's a good one because any movie with John Goodman is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So today we're doing Emperor's New Groove. Is this actually a Disney movie? I guess.
I believe so. It might be DreamWorks. I'm not 100% sure, but it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's what always gets me confused is that, I mean, Disney owns so much of everything now that we don't even really know.
Yeah, I assume they just took it.
Yeah, I think it is a Disney movie. It was released in 2000, directed by Mark Dindal. Stars David Spade, John Goodman, Eartha Kitt, and I mean those are the three names, what I call poster names. But I'm also throwing Patrick Warburton in there just for good measure because I mean of all of the voice actors that ever were, I think Patrick Warburton is probably the most voice actor of all voice actors.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty much the creme de la creme of voice acting, isn't he?
Yeah. Like, what else could we say that he's done?
Oh, God. Geez. Stuff I've never even heard of. He's been on Family Guy, Archer, Venture Brothers. Oh, that's right. He was Brock Sampson in Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go as Aquaman, Madagascar,
The Tick.
The Tick. He was the Tick. Yep.
Like that was a great. Yeah. He's everywhere.
I'm glad that he was in the Expendables.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really glad that he made it into that because I mean he kind of needed to be.
Yeah. He's in all this action stuff, but never like really, known for being an action guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean the guy's been in. I didn't even look to see how many actual productions it was that they had him listed in, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
190. He has 190 previous credits plus 4 upcoming.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the guy's been out there a bit. So yeah, I figured I'd probably better add him into the list. Oh no, I almost forgot. I almost neglected my duty of giving the thing that Jamie hates.
We couldn't forget that.
Right, the IMDb description. And for this one, Emperor Kuzco is turned into a llama by his ex-administrator, Yzma, and must now regain his throne with the help of Pacha, the gentle llama herder. I actually don't think that one's bad.
No, that one's actually not too bad. That's pretty much the basis of the movie, but there's a lot more to it.
I mean, there's more to it, but that's not bad for an IMDb description.
Yeah, for an IMDb, like... It's better than a Netflix description.
Yeah. No, I like to kind of start with the technical stuff. I talk about like kind of how I felt about it technically. For me, the animation was fun. I mean, it's kind of nice while watching it. It made me appreciate watching a hand animated movie for the first time in a long time because everything's done with computers now.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there was a lot of talent required for that kind of stuff back then.
Oh yeah, going from frame to frame and like, oh yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of work that goes into those.
Right. And they actually did a really good job. So, I mean, I don't know. It's I mean, that kind of stuff is just a sort of a lost art now. But it really made me appreciate it, just because so much is computer animated now. Voice acting in this movie is, of course, awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the star cast. They're all really great voice actors. And the soundtrack was also super fun because it was like, I mean, the original soundtrack it all fit the reason that they had it in and everything like that. But like even just the fun music, almost like the music out of time thing, like they did with Hercules.
Yeah.
How they had how they had the big band music in Hercules. Well, obviously that wasn't in ancient Greece, but the stuff that they had in this movie was kind of the same way, and I still really enjoyed that.
Yeah, just even with the opening number, song and dance number, like that pretty much sets you up for the rest of the movie. Like it's that fun. Like even like
Right.
the down and sad parts are, they're still there. You're still kind of like you're still enjoying the movie.
Yes. Yeah, it's good stuff. What did you think of the movie technically?
Technically, it's like I said, it's done really well. It's animated beautifully. The music is super fun to listen to and like really get into some of them. Like some of the songs are really great. I can't really think of anything that was wrong with it, like something that I could criticize
Yeah.
on it. Like just
I mean, it's also Disney, so it's like, I mean,
it's what you do.
that's what Disney does, is they just make really good productions. They do so much to avoid screw ups that like that first Christmas when the Mandalorian came out and they didn't have any little baby Yoda dolls that you could buy. I'm sure somebody got fired over that.
Oh yeah. Oh
because
totally.
that was a missed opportunity that I'm sure somebody got fired for. But I mean, that's because that's what Disney expects. They expect perfection.
And if you don't give it, you're gone.
Yeah. So I mean, they pretty well held their guns up here.
Yeah.
Now in the next section, I talk about the characters, and this list starts with Kuzco. Tell me about Kuzco.
Cusco the Emperor. Cusco is arrogant. He's spoiled from birth. Anything that he wants, he gets. That's pretty much Cusco in the beginning of the film. It's just a spoiled, arrogant prince who wants and wants, and if he doesn't get it, he throws you out of his way.
Yeah. He definitely isn't accustomed to not getting everything that he wants.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the whole point of the plot of the movie. So he wants a new bathhouse.
Yeah.
And
it's a swimming pool. He wants to build a summer home.
Right.
Yeah.
What was it? Cuscotopia?
Yeah, Cuscotopia. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's going to build it on a hill, and it's going to be the hill, of course, that is going to make make him sad. Our next character on the list, Pacha. Tell me about Pacha.
Pacha is just one of the sweetest kind of souls you'll meet. Like, he's all about his family and his village, and everybody's happy and just joy. Like, that's how I would describe him. He's joy. He's got the life.
Pacha is almost perfect.
Yeah, like
when you think about it, like he's a perfect man. He's a perfect husband, a perfect dad. Like, I mean, and he's the leader of his village, and his primary concern is
the village,
making sure that they're happy. I mean, it just doesn't get any more perfect than Pacha.
Pacha's like the embodiment of like the saying, like, you can't make anybody else happy unless you're happy. So like, I feel like he surrounds himself with so much joy that he can just give it back out tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's him. That
definitely fits. And then I'm going to kind of do these a little bit out of order here. Instead of the third one, we're going to jump down to the last one. Pacha's family is next. And I mean, this is another part of the reason why I think that Pacha is perfect, is because his family loves Pacha.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not just because he's the dad and he's the husband, and so like they're obligated to love him, but like they are genuinely excited to see him. They're happy that he's home and all of this other stuff. I mean, Pacha's family is just absolutely in love with Pacha.
Oh yeah.
Probably partly because he's played by John Goodman,
Oh yeah.
but also because he's the perfect man. So, his kids are crazy.
Oh yeah.
You don't know anything about what that's like, do you?
No, I don't know. I know nothing about crazy children. No, not
That's
at all.
awesome. They don't argue. Johanna.
Touching me. He's touching me. Stop touching me. I'm not touching you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I also
tell me what you think of Pacha's family.
I also know that I know a lot about Pacha's wife because I kind of pretty much have the same woman.
Oh yeah,
the one that Pacha probably wasn't always like that, because you could tell in their relationship that like when it comes down to the choices in the house, like it's her choice and then he follows along with it. The smile and nod will get you real far in life.
What are you implying, Jake?
That I love my wife unconditionally. I hope she doesn't hear this one.
Oh,
I might have to go home and be like, just don't listen to that one. It's trash. She's trash.
She's gonna listen. I know she's a listener, so
I know
you're doomed.
Yeah, it's fine.
Go sing the doom song.
I'll ask for forgiveness when I get home. It's fine. It's easier that way.
So we'll go ahead and hit line 3 here. That's Yzma and Kronk. I know that you're excited about these characters. Tell me about Yzma and Kronk.
Yzma and Kronk. It's so weird how well they work together as like a duo, because she is just this insane, like methodical, like crazy woman. Mm-hmm. And he's just the kind of that like henchman kind of guy.
Yeah.
But like I feel like a lot of the movie like could have just like gone to the wayside if like the Emperor just treated everybody better, because I think the Emperor created Yzma through that, just not being a kind individual, like poor management, mm-hmm. That's what made Yzma.
Right.
And then Kronk is just this dumb, lovable oaf he's a lot like Pacha, like just like likes to be happy and joyous, and his spinach puffs, like
he's quite concerned about the well-being of his spinach puffs.
Yes, like he loves to host, like in the whole scene of like where he's supposed to be poisoning him, he's more worried about the catering of the meal than actually doing his job correctly.
Right.
So
yeah, he's well, I mean, like you said, he's hired to be the muscle, but it's almost like I mean, he's built physically to be the muscle, but he's not really built mentally to be the muscle.
Yeah, or definitely not emotionally to be the muscle, because he's got a conscience. You can't be the muscle with a conscience.
No. And Yzma, yeah, I think you're spot on there. Yzma is pretty, like, I mean, for the most part, when it comes to Disney villains, most of them don't really have a reason to be evil. They just are. Yeah. I mean, that's why they are. But Yzma, I think, is one of the very few Disney villains that I don't think would have been evil had she been, treated a little bit more respectfully. I think
her position, she was supposed to be the right hand, the advisor, right? Supposed to be his advisor, and if you don't take the advice of the advisor, then the advisor gets angry eventually.
Right. And I mean that was kind of the whole point that he had made with her was, you are my advisor, and I thank you for your advice, but no, like I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do. I mean, and when you take somebody's job away, I mean, you're gonna make them feel like yeah, I mean, you're going to make him kind of defensive.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, granted, I think that she had ulterior motives that were not quite so wholesome.
Oh,
You know,
no.
it seemed very much like she wanted to take over the empire while the emperor was, spending time in his new bathhouse. But
Yeah.
uh,
I don't
but
know.
I mean, at the same time, like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Know?
Well, like I can see your point, like if I put years into a place and then, suddenly they're just all like, all right, well, we're done with you. Like the first word that might pop into my head is, I don't know, arson, you know?
Arson.
Arson. Like I know where all the cameras are in these places. I know the blind spots. I can make it look like an accident. Like you use
Right.
me for all these years and just feel like, now we're done. It's like I might be a little upset too, yeah.
Right.
Granted, these are
Now,
just things that go through my mind. I'm not actually going to burn my job down.
yeah. Um, now I've got down here in our points of interest, I've got kind of the different things that we had put down as things that were, that kind of stood out to us in the movie. I think the first one here is one that you got, how Kronk is the true main character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
You get so much more character development with him than you do the Emperor. Yeah, and the Emperor goes from this really bad guy to, like, oh, well, I realized I've been a jerk, so I'm going to do better. As where Krunk has to go through so much more because he's this muscle brained, he's just trying to do right through Yzma and all this stuff. But you actually see him grow more with like the angel and the little devil guy that pops on his shoulders throughout the movie. With that's his conscience, that's his Jiminy Cricket, so to
Yeah.
speak. He's those conversations and where he eventually, in the end, towards the end of the movie, decides that like Yzma's bad. I can't do this anymore. I have to be a better person, and he actually tries to help.
Right.
Pacha.
Yeah.
Pacha?
He, well, I mean, he does have much more of a character arc than any of the others do, really. I mean, his character arc is perpendicular, I guess, parallel, I guess, with Kuzco's, because I mean, they both kind of go that same, bad
Same.
to worse to better to good kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I don't know. I like Krunk a lot more than I do Kuzco. Like Kuzco is great as a character, and I love but Krunk got all the best dialogue. Like he got all
Right.
the best jokes and
Yeah,
like
yeah, he sure did.
just like
I do like how you have written down that coddling your kid will make them little emperors.
yeah, I truly believe that. Like no rounded corners in my house. No participation awards. Like it's like yeah, you lost. It sucks.
That
That's-
I think, I mean, coddling a character or coddling a kid is, I mean, it's different from being supportive. I mean, coddling is I think basically support that is just too frequent.
Yeah, the helicopter parenting and the oh no
Where you're not
don't do
giving
that.
them, yeah,
Don't pick
where you're
that
not
up.
giving them enough chance to, to fail.
Yeah, I'm the hold on. Watch this. And then they'll do something and they'll look at you and I'm like, gonna do that again? And they're like, nah, that kind of sucked. There we go. You learned the lesson. That's where we're at. Like
That's
I'm not
awesome.
gonna let them do anything dangerous, like like let's not stick our hand in the fire pit. Like I'm not gonna
Right,
do
that-
that. Like anything that's an ER trip, we're gonna avoid that. Like
Wait. Tell me that one of your kids didn't stick their hand in a fire pit.
no, but I could see my son trying. But
Okay.
he's the kid that he's got the stick and he's shoving it in the fire pit and he's waving it around after he pulls it out. It's all like, let's not do that, buddy. Or they threw a plastic bag in the fire pit and it melted and a piece came off and it landed on his sister's forehead and she still has a scar.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, like why she shouldn't have to learn the lesson through your teaching, Well,
good. I don't know. That might be a good lesson. Your your brother is doing stupid shit. You go away.
There you go.
Let him do his stupid shit and figure it out.
Well, just do it the way I do from afar. You know,
right?
You know,
now,
close enough if needed. But
we had also talked a little bit about Yzma. Yzma's being a result of bad workplace management.
Yeah,
that was another point that you had marked down here. I mean, I think that's really about. I mean, like I said, it's the only time that I've really seen that in a Disney movie where I think that environmental factors such as their boss are the reason why they're such bad guys.
Yeah, like well, you don't get anything else. You don't get Yzma's childhood. You don't get a lot of her backstory to realize why she became this way. All you get is with the treatment that she gets from Cusco.
Now, I know that there was a follow-up to this movie.
Kronk's New Groove?
Kronk's New Groove, yeah.
I have not watched Kronk's New Groove, and
I didn't either. I wonder, was there another one for Yzma? I don't know. I guess.
No, there was also ABC Saturday morning cartoons about Cusco going back to high school, and that has Kronk and Yzma in it, and I think you get a little bit more storyline between those two.
Huh.
What I really like about Yzma's and how she ends in the movie is that she's not destroyed. She's not banished. She's not,
right.
slain. She's rehabilitated, She has to help with the Squirrel Scouts,
Right.
Stuff like that.
Well, even from the beginning when she was fired, when they're taking her department in a different direction and, all of that stuff. She was still able to stick around. She was still there. She made him dinner, she was there to have Kronk make him dinner. But I mean, even beforehand, Cusco wasn't really that awful. He could have done a lot worse things as the emperor and being a spoiled, rotten anus. Yeah, he totally could have had her put to death just for fun.
Yeah. Well, at least she got a severance package, at least,
Yeah.
Yeah. It is very corporate firing. The way that he does it. It is
pizza party.
Yeah, pizza parties. Gotta love them.
Gotta love it.
At least we get good pizza, like Gambino's and stuff at my job. It's not like here's 12 Little Caesars.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Or he'll go to Papa John's or stuff like that. We get good pizza.
That's not bad. Yeah, I could go along with that. We don't even really get any of that. We don't, because I mean, we our company goes from border to border, so there's no.
we get our things we'll get $100 bonus every once in a while, but it's taxed.
Oh yeah.
So I get a $75 bonus. Thanks.
Yay. Of course, you guys get turkeys and stuff like that for.
Not anymore. No.
Oh, what?
No, they changed that. Yeah.
Oh, we don't see that. I think that would turn me into an Yzma.
Yeah. No free turkey.
I don't get my goddamn turkey on Thanksgiving no more.
We get a 10% off coupon 3 times a year, I believe. Every quarter. Not every quarter. We have for one shopping trip, I can get 10% off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I heard something about that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's better than Walmart's 10% off of one item.
Yeah, and that is better.
Anything. Yeah, and it can't be from this department, that department, or that department. It's all the departments you want stuff from.
Yeah. Yep. I remember.
You remember.
I remember. A long time ago.
So I have down here, for my first talking point, Pacha is an example of a good man. He's an example of a good man, a good husband, and a good dad. And I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that. Some of the points that I think where that was kind of evident was, I mean, he helped the man who threw off the Emperor's Groove that got thrown out the window.
Yeah.
He just came across him while he was hanging from one of those banners, helped him down and helped him on his way. He's concerned for the villagers and their homes and all of that stuff because he's in charge. He takes his kids' feelings into consideration. Like when he came home and they wanted to stay up, and he was like, he
wanted to let him, but he's all like, I don't know, but we're just going to be sitting here doing lovey-dovey stuff together.
Yeah. And then they were like, forget that. I'm going to bed.
Away.
Yeah. But I mean, he still took into consideration what his kids wanted to do. You know, he tried to comfort Cusco when he became a llama.
Yeah.
When he figured out that he had become a llama. But it's like Cusco had given him no reason to be nice to him at this point.
No.
Right there at the beginning.
He's like a man that always looks forward, never at the ground.
Right.
You know, he's always aware of his surroundings. He's always aware of other people in the world around him. Like, he's there. He's present. Like, he doesn't if he can do something, he's going to do something.
Right.
You know, he doesn't turn a blind eye.
No, I think that gets tested quite a bit with Cusco.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's that point later on in the movie where he draws a line. Well, it's not later on in the movie. It's, you know, right before Cusco starts wanting to go back to, you know, the palace or whatever, but he draws that line in the sand with Cusco, and he sets a boundary with him, and he says, I will take you back, but only if you promise not to destroy my village. You know, you have to do this. And, well, of course, Cusco is Cusco, and very much so at this point, and he's not going to give in at all.
Yeah, it's the handshake. The
right.
Handshake where they have to shake hands, and he goes, you only shake if you mean it. Like,
oh yeah, that was even later. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
because this was before they even set off into the jungle. You know, he was like, Cusco went into the jungle on his own because he was like, screw you, I'm not gonna save your village because I want my damn, you know, Cuscotopia.
Yeah, and that's where he falls into the jaguar pit.
Yeah, he's got all the jaguars around him and friggin'.
It's the first time you meet the squirrel.
Oh yeah, the squirrel comes in.
Well, no, it's the second time you meet, because he's rude to the squirrel first, and then the squirrel comes in later with the balloon and the thorn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you know, and then all of that stuff. I mean, you know, he holds the village hostage, you know, long enough a couple of times, by telling Pacha that, you know, okay, well, you know, I guess we'll do whatever, you know, whatever it takes to do, you know, to get me back or whatever. And, you know, and you can tell that he has no intention at all of, you know,
no, none
sticking to it. And despite every reason to not like Zuko, despite every reason to not like Cusco, Pacha he stays concerned for Cusco's safety. That's why he chases him into the jungle. You know, later on when they're, you know, in the water and they go down the waterfall and everything, bring it on. Yeah.
I love that scene where they're strapped to the log and they're just talking about, like, he's all like, you know, like, there's a waterfall, isn't there? Yeah. Probably sharp jagged rocks at the bottom. Yeah. Let's do it.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. And then, but even then with that whole scene afterwards, I mean, his whole problem could have been fixed right there, but he was going to give mouth to mouth to a llama because it was Cusco, because it was, you know, arguably the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And he had no reason to give him that much concern, because obviously Cusco wasn't giving him any concern as to what he was feeling or how he felt about it.
Oh, like even like right after that, he gives him his poncho to stay warm because he's soaking wet.
Yeah.
As he goes and builds the fire, the camp. Like,
Yep. He, I mean, and by that point, he has come to the realization that there is nothing that will ever change Cusco, and he still gives him his poncho when he's cold and wet at night.
and he was
Like,
still going to take him home.
yeah, he was still going to take him home, and
Like,
that kind of brings it into the handshake that you were talking about. I mean, that handshake was super important to Pacha. I mean, they it's animated and they still did a close up,
yeah.
like
Like, I love
where he says, "Don't shake if you don't mean it."
I love that whole scene because Cusco's lost and he comes out and he hears John Goodman talking to just another group of llamas about
Mm-hmm.
him. He was like, I knew a llama once. He wasn't that bad of a guy, He was just a little,
Yeah,
that whole, that's and then they do the handshake, and that's where like I think that scene is where they actually, that's where Cusco starts thinking, maybe I need to think about more than Cusco.
I think it came shortly after that. Yeah. Um. Well, because I mean, uh, I don't know if you remember or not, but like they did the handshake, and he says, "Don't shake if you don't mean it," and he does, and then Pacha's demeanor just completely changed. I mean, he was being deadly serious for that moment, but then after he shook, he became old Pacha again. He was happy and all smiles and almost boyish.
Yeah,
In,
almost. Yeah,
in the way that he acts, and then, well, and then they're going to getting like immediately after that they're going over a bridge, and then it's
Pacha falls through, and Cusco immediately goes back to his evil way and goes, well, this solves my problem. All I need to do is cross this bridge, and I'm where I need to be.
mm-hmm.
And he jumps over, takes a couple steps, and boom, he's through the bridge,
Yep.
looking Pacha straight in the face, and well, Pacha's fist straight in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as he falls down, Pacha just nails him one.
Right.
And then they have to figure out how to walk up the side of the cliff together. And
Yeah. I mean, he basically that was a kick in the teeth immediately after telling somebody to smile.
yeah,
Like, I mean, that takes quite a bit of gall. I think that even a lot of bad people would sit there and go, I totally just shook on this like 5 minutes ago.
yeah, like that's low.
Even now, like even a bad person would think, no, it's too soon. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but he had no problems with it. So, I mean, after such a thing as that, like, I mean, it's kind of amazing that Pacha even stuck around with him after that, but he did. And that's what's so incredible about Pacha is that it didn't matter, despite the fact that Cusco broke the handshake. Pacha holds to his, and he's hoping 4 days will be enough for Cusco to change his mind. So he's still upholding his end of the bargain, even though Cusco immediately after broke it and has been breaking it repeatedly the whole time.
yeah. Well, and like, see, like that scene, like when they go through the bridge, leads like right. It's crazy how fast they go. Like, we're good, we're bad, we're good. Like,
Right.
through their relationship, because they get out of it because like they're there and they're walking up the side of the cliff, and he's stretching his neck out so he can get the rope, and then the scorpions fall onto Cusco, and he freaks out and runs up the side of the cliff with both of them, and they're standing on the edge, and Pacha almost falls, and Cusco snatches him out of the air, throws him back on so he doesn't fall off the cliff. That's where
He does his little dance.
You see that? Did you see what I just did?
I
Not
just
today.
snatched you out of midair.
Not today, Cliff. Not today.
So, in that made it feel like it was involuntary.
Yeah.
Like, and so that kind of gives me a place to think about something. At this point, we as an audience are pretty well are pretty well convinced that Cusco is just an asshole,
Yeah.
um, through and through, and that he is so far gone and beyond all hope that he's just going to be a jerk forever.
And it gives you
But
that little glimmer of redemption.
well, because he's had no the reason why we think that is because he's had no reason to be like he's had no reason to go outside of himself and do something for somebody else.
Yeah, he's
And now that he's faced with something where when it actually matters, he does. And so that kind of brings to mind a concept that I've kind of talked with people on and off again about uh, now and again, and that's the idea that humans and people are inherently good. That all of us have this part of us that wants to be good, and that some people just get lost from their way on it.
no, totally. I think a lot of it has to do with your environment that you're raised in, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's just, like if you're trying to be good and you're going and doing it and doing it and doing it, but all you get is nothing but negativity and you get crushed back down and, you're never shown to be good to other people. All you see is the villainy of the world. It's hard to be a good person when all you see is the negativity.
Right.
Like you can bust through that, there's always that chance one meeting of like say like your guidance counselor was somebody in high school that you were really really struggling and that one thing that they said to you like opened your mind and made you push harder to be a better person.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I hope, like, I mean, it'd be really nice if everybody had one of those people. I mean, and I think that everybody has access to somebody like that if they really allowed themselves to venture out and find them. But I do think that there are also people out there that don't have that feel like they don't have somebody that they can go to that can kind of help them come back to themselves as people,
Yeah. Well,
and stay true to the good part of them that they have.
sometimes it's being that person that can bring you back. You
Right.
being that person for somebody else can give you that satisfaction and bring
Yeah.
you back in a sense. Like I have so many stray kids at my house that just wander in and out of teenagers and like I try to be that adult around them, like if they're having a bad day, I was just like it sucks. Like it's a shitty experience, but life does get better, If
Right.
you want it to, then it will. Like
Right.
you
And
have to no,
that, I mean, that's really important to have. I mean, it is extremely important for kids to have, kind of that older, wiser, sort of influence that a lot of kids don't get, honestly. And a lot of them do. Like a lot of people tend to that tends to be their parents, right?
yeah.
Like a lot of like your oldest, I know.
Yeah,
Well,
see,
you are the older, wiser, kind person that your oldest goes to.
yeah. Well, and the funny thing is like we basically raised each other cuz, I was a baby having a baby,
Yeah,
like
you
we
were a
went
kid you were a kid with a kid.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we were going through life together. Like
yeah,
we both had to figure out a lot of things and I had like I didn't use her as like my emotional support rock, but when I would come home and I hear, "Daddy," that's all I needed.
yeah.
That
That
got
means
me up the next morning, you
right.
know? Like
Yeah,
and then just me trying to figure out how to be a dad, Like it's something I always knew I wanted to be. Even like as a kid, I always knew that I wanted to be a dad because like I love my dad. He's awesome. I didn't see him a lot when I was little because he works overnights. But
right.
like when I hit my teen years, that's when we connected. That's when we found things that we liked to do with each other.
Mhm.
One of them, strangely enough, your sister still can't wrap her head around the fact that I play golf.
Yeah,
She still
I
can't.
still, it's still weird to me that you play golf. Like, really, Jake
Yeah,
plays golf. You're wearing a Venom shirt and a 4-star
Dragon Ball
Dragon
Z.
Ball hat.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and
I also play disc golf too. I got that in the back of the truck.
okay,
So,
disc golf's not so bad.
yeah, but I play both. Like,
Oh, weird. It's still weird. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool that I think that most people would tend to lean on their parents for that wisdom and guidance that they need in order to stay in that regulated area of, I am a good person and I want to continue trying to be a good person. And the people who lack that are that do give in to a lot of those a lot of those temptations for awful things, and I mean, starting off with not so nice things, you know, but I mean, it really kind of, I don't know, it just makes me really sad that some people didn't have that connection or attachment with their parents to be able to, you know, feel like that they could go to them for that. And with some of them, I don't even think that it's that they couldn't. I think that with a lot, I think something that's more and more common now is that you run into a lot of parents that aren't there to be that for their kids.
yeah, they're gone all the time.
Yeah. Like, and even if it's not that they're physically gone, you know,
Just,
like they might physically be in the home, they might physically be sitting at the table or whatever, but they're emotionally gone.
yeah, they're not present.
Yeah. And that, I think, is a more common struggle these days, with kids, and being able to differentiate right from wrong, having that moral compass that I think a lot of us already have. And it makes me really kind of sad that that's not there for some people. You know, I mean, obviously Cusco didn't have that. And
Yeah, you never hear about his parents either. You don't know exactly what happened to them, if he was just the emperor from a very young age, like if something happened and they were just gone.
well,
And he was
that is
raised
something
by,
that's pretty common in a lot of old school lore, is that say the royal line ends and they don't have anybody to fill it, it's supposed to be filled by an orphan, or, you know, or somebody who, you know, like, who doesn't have a background. And I mean, that would totally make sense with Cusco.
Yeah.
You know, if he went from being an orphaned baby to having absolutely everything in the world, before he had any recollection of not having anything.
yeah, that would
Then
definitely.
that would totally be cause for him being a prick
Yeah,
later on.
yeah.
But
Only a little bit of a dick. Only a little bit.
only a little.
Yeah.
But I mean, as much as we're all still convinced that he's just going to be an asshole forever, you know, Pacha holds to his handshake and keeps going, and well,
And then-
he does it.
And
Within
then
4 days, Cusco kind of comes around, and he becomes a decent person. I mean, then it's something that Jen and I were talking about last night. I call it the Pixar problem.
yeah.
In all Disney movies, there's usually some kind of a thing that's important for you to gain from watching their movie,
Yeah.
specifically with Pixar movies. But then there is usually also a problem that is presented that really doesn't have any bearing on anything to do with the message. Up, for example, there's a lot of good feelings about Up, but none of it has anything to do with fighting an old ass man with a bunch of dogs. So
Yeah.
The problem in that movie is something that is completely unrelated to the meaning of the movie, and that's why I call it a Pixar problem.
Yeah, he's a
And
llama.
this one has kind of a Pixar problem. Yzma. They defeat Yzma, get him turned back into being, a human again.
Yeah.
And then he does it. Like
Yeah.
he goes and he calls Pacha, and Pacha sits there with him, and he says, "You know what? I've been on your hill,
You were
and
there was
you
there was no
lied.
singing. Yeah, there was
I
no
didn't hear
singing.
any singing on those hills."
I spent
So,
I spent 4 days wading through those hills, and I didn't hear a single song. Yeah.
right. So he comes around to himself, to the good part of himself, and decides, I'm not going to destroy this man's village because he helped me, and he showed me kindness.
And I think it's just their general overall friendship that they make as well as something. Is he finally has something that he earned and made with another person, not something that was just given to him.
Well, and I think part of it was that, like, I mean, as much as the emperor spends his time getting things from people, people are getting him things because he's the emperor. The emperor. Well, I mean, Pacha didn't have anything to give him, except the only thing that Pacha could really give him was to show Cusco that even though he wasn't an emperor and he was a llama, that he had value.
Yeah.
He showed Cusco that he had value. And I think that after 4 days of that,
Yeah.
traveling with him and showing him that, I've been a complete jackass to this dude,
Who's done nothing
this
but
dude and his family and his people and all of that, and he still treated me like I had value.
still treating him as though he was a human,
Right.
as a human being.
And he
Right.
was still treating him like he was basically he gave him what he wasn't giving to everybody else, despite the fact that he knew that he didn't deserve it. And I think that to me is a really big part of the message with the story, is that, like, I mean, if you can take a few minutes out of every day to find that one person that is squeaky, squeaky, squeaky.
Yeah, I heard it.
That's funny. But if you can take a few moments out of any day and just look at it and go, like, think of all of those people that you don't like throughout your day-to-day life, and think about those people who you look at as toxic, or that you look at and say that this person is just, they're mean to everybody and nobody likes them and all of that, and just imagine what it is that, like, just imagine what life looks like from their perspective, and then ask yourself, well, if I were to go show that person just a little bit of value, if I were to show that person that they have something to contribute, and that I show them that they are important to me in some way, maybe they can come back from that.
Yeah, maybe they could change. Like, they don't have to do it overnight, and they don't have to be like a completely different person.
Right.
Even if they just
and it
become,
doesn't even have to be you that gets the benefit.
yeah, like, it is, even if they just become a little bit kinder.
Yeah. And then maybe you're just the beginning. And then, and then 2 months from now, when they go to a different job, or you start a different class or something like that, and that person goes in and they see another person that does the same thing, then maybe whatever it is that put them into that place could soften, and they might be able to see through it enough to go, maybe I'm just being a little bit too hard on life, and maybe there are better people out there than what I expect.
They could be being too hard on themselves too. Like,
Right.
they could be like, maybe it's time for me to forgive myself for some things that have happened in life and move on from there. And you can let go of a lot. Like letting go of stuff is great. I love doing it.
Right.
I love when I have this issue and I finally get over it. I finally just like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
There are more important things. And it's just that release, that weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I dig it. I dig it. And I'll tell you what, man, this has been a really good movie. Like I haven't watched a movie. When you suggested this movie, I'm like, to be completely honest, I was like, oh shit, I don't know that I can really find anything in that one.
No,
but I mean, initially the first thing that I had kind of thought that I was going to think about was, I was going to come at it from more of a parenting standpoint. Like, because I mean, there were some themes in there that had kind of shown off to me a little bit, like, well, poor parenting is kind of why Kuzco would end up the way he was. And that, Pacha coming in and actually parenting Kuzco.
Yeah.
Was kind of something that made a big difference for him. But I mean, behold, I show up to my couch and watch this movie, and something else kind of shows its way through for me.
Yeah, there's so much in that film that it's great. Like there's so many little things that make you think.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm only a little bit pissed off that it has David Spade in it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him. Like, the only time that I enjoy David Spade's face on film is when it's next to Chris Farley. That's the only time and that's Tommy Boy and that's Black Sheep.
Man, the guy's voice just annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But I mean, but he was perfect. He was perfect for Kuzco.
Because he needed that high and mighty kind of.
Well, not even so much that as much as that when you think about it, I'm gonna get it on the mic here for you. When you really think about it, he kind of sounds like a llama anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, not the Cadbury llama.
No, I'm just thinking of llama noises in my head now. Just yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, yeah, that's my active ingredient is that it kind of gives me a little bit of a gumption to make sure that, those people that really piss me off out there, that I look at and I just think to myself, God, they're an asshole. Maybe people thinking that they're an asshole is part of the reason why they're such an asshole. And maybe I can be a part of the reason why they're not.
Oh, like some of my favorite customers at the store are assholes.
Right.
Because like one of my favorite thing to do to an asshole when they're coming to the store is kill them with kindness.
Be nice to them. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Because they're all like, where's this? And I was all like, right this way, sir. Can I help you find anything else today? Like,
come on, Bubbles. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your active gradient?
I suppose like what I really get from it is it's that tale of oldest time, like don't judge people like until you actually get to know them, and people can always change. It's like don't give up on people.
Right.
Like people are people. People are going to be assholes, and sometimes they're going to be the greatest people on the planet. And it could be the same person in two different instincts, and it's just
sometimes it's almost like it comes back to the whole the golden rule. Yeah. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah. And
yeah. Yeah, I get it.
And I Pacha does that. He treats Kuzco the way that he wants Kuzco to treat him. And eventually, I think Kuzco sees it and realizes what's going on here. It's like, this is a really good person, and I have not been a good person. And
right.
Maybe I should give that a go. Maybe I should try to be a good person and see how that makes me feel. Because being the way that I am makes me miserable. Like when he gets caught in the rainstorm in the middle of the jungle and he's depressed and because he's all alone and you know, he realizes that maybe I'm not a good person. Maybe I need to do better. And then it progresses from there. And he eventually does become somewhat of a good guy, even if he does have Spade's voice.
Yeah, even if he does have David Spade's voice. Oh God. Bah. Oh no, that's not a llama. That's
it's more of
a sheep. Yeah. That is my friend Jake. So, well, thanks for coming on, Jake.
Oh yeah.
I was really excited to have you on finally. I know
this was a blast.
We don't always have the luxury of having our schedules line up in a way that it can work, but I'm glad that it was able to work today.
I gotta admit, I was nervous. A little nervous.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, the last time I was put on record, I was in court. Okay.
We're not going to go into that.
No. That's a completely different podcast.
that is a completely different podcast.
Not criminal court, mind you. It's not criminal court. Not criminal court. I'm not throwing that out on the internet.
No. Well, you've got a good job. You don't have to worry about it. Your boss likes you.
Yeah, he might bail me out. I don't know.
He what?
He might be a guy that would bail me out. I don't know.
He might.
Just so I'd be at work in the morning.
Just to make sure that you're there to open up. That's awesome. All right. Well, thanks a bunch, man. I'm looking forward to having you come back.
Oh, yeah, me too.
If you have a movie that's been medicine for you and you'd like to be on the show, you can email me at contact@movie-rx.com. If anxiety is keeping you from being on, you can write me a couple paragraphs about the movie and I can read them on air. Remember, this movie is not intended to treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and we'll see you at the next appointment.